wrap-up is for the evening as we're here now on Tuesday, the 2nd of July, 2024. Well, Tesla had a good performance day. You know, that's a strong day. What, 8-9% gain on the day? That's powerful. The market, they're not delivering as much cars, but they're making money in other divisions. And the market's waiting to see what they're going to give you later in the month on the car deliveries and where they're at on their robo-taxi. That's coming up too. We'll see. So far, you know, don't count out these robo-taxis. If you're in Phoenix, they're working. If you're in San Francisco, they're working. It's strange, but you know, what is it? Waymo has them going, so we'll see what goes on there. It's noise time in the video. It's one of these. That's where you're going. Late in the day, news broke that Paramount and Skydance are again talking of a merger. So that died, and now that everything else fell apart, it appears to be that's the route this might go. You're not stopping Amazon. Netflix had a good day. Schwab came back. Not happening in the home builders or Lennar. Lennar's getting downgraded by a lot of different analysts here as they're looking at the housing market and just saying this is not the year where it's going to be the right one for them. So it doesn't matter which one. It just seems that they're going to come as a group under pressure at this point. Airline stocks, fuel prices going up, that's not going to be the best thing that can run into it. I'd like to see Boeing fall back, as you all know. I've said it over and over. Copper did what I thought. It rallied a little bit, but we'll see where it's at. In the gold market, you actually started throwing out the early signs of going higher. Remember, tomorrow, you are going to close early in the stock market for the 4th of July holiday. I will not put this video out on Wednesday night. There's no point. Nobody's going to be around Thursday. Maybe I'll, well, for sure Friday I'll do it for the weekend. So that'll be the next time that this comes up. We have, though, moved forth a lot of data. I'll talk about that in a minute. And I do want to remind you, because time's going to get away from you, my 4th of July sale is right now. It's going to end before you know it. 35% off any of my courses. There are 3 that I offer. My full charting course where I teach swing lines, moving averages, everything to go with it. Then I have the enhanced Bollinger Band course where I tie together stochastics and the Bollinger Band with my way, and then a separate course on outside days because they're so important on how I approach them. You can get that at IraEpstein.com under courses. Then my research. My SPDR research, the combo of futures and SPDR, all futures, any way you want to go. 35% off, but you can't downgrade if you're a lower, if you're already a subscriber. You can upgrade your subscription. You can add things to it, okay? You can move your cursor up here at any point. You'll see an icon if you're on a PC, and it'll take you there. Otherwise, IraEpstein.com, or just give my staff a call. They'll work with you. All righty. So now let's talk about all that data that I was just mentioning, and here we go. The Mortgage Bankers Association comes out at 6 a.m., their indices. We'll see what has happened. Now, you know we've gone up in the past 48 hours about a 1/4 point in these rates, 20 basis points at least, and that's going to weigh on these markets. So pay attention. That won't be in this report. It's just happening. This will be last week's. Challenger Group, though, well, what we just went through for the month of June will be in there, and that's going to come out at 6:30 on corporate cuts. ADP on the private sector, net job change, they're looking for an increase there at 7:15. Jobless claims, that comes out at 7:30. That'll be an important one. The Fed today, they were, you saw Ms. Lagarde, you saw Fed Chair Powell. They were talking in Sintra, Portugal this morning on Bloomberg and CNBC as they were being interviewed. And they're watching closely these jobs numbers. Got to remember, Europe's at an all-time low basically on jobless, so that's good for them. We're pretty close too. The May trade balance comes out at 7:30. S&P Global Group will release their final June service sector PMI at 8:45. The Institute of Supply Management will come out at 9. We're going to get the EIA numbers at 9:30. And you did have today the API numbers already, and they came in friendly. So you've got a full day. The action will be in the morning, and it'll die off as the day goes, and then move into more or less a trickle. So be aware of what you trade, how you trade it, and how these markets operate in holiday markets. I think it's important for everybody. You know, the interesting thing is you're at an all-time high close in the cash S&P tonight. but not in RSP, the equal weight S&P. This market's at the lower end of the trading range. This is how important it is to have tech. They took out of the Russell one of the major, I think it was Supermicro, they took out of that. So now they lost one of their big tech names. They replaced it with, I forgot, something that has nothing to do at all with tech. And they were showing me the ratings. I was reading them today. I forgot who took their place as the most heavily weighted now. And it's nothing in the tech. But you can see how this without tech is laying down and going nowhere. The trend is still down. You know you're at an all-time high in the regular S&P. To negate the downtrend, you'd have to get over 165.21. A lot of resistance between the 100-day average and the 18-day average of closes. I would expect the pros are going to sell short into that with stops over that number. But this was a good spot the past 48 hours to take some money off the table as you're down to the lower band. And each time you've come there, you have held it. Now, eventually, as these bands narrow in, and it's narrowing in more than it has in the past, just take a look. You see that? You eventually break out one way or the other. The narrower it goes, the longer it goes sideways, the bigger the eventual move. When we look at momentum, oversold. You can stay oversold. You could start riding this band down. Got to watch it real carefully over the next 5 days. It's going to tell you what it's doing, I think. When we take a look at the dividend equity ETF, still in a bear phase here. Or is it? Well, not really. While you have lower highs, you have higher lows. You're sort of in the middle of no man's land. Nike got smashed and can't even give you a bounce. That is really sad. Way up here is the resistance, but that's $16 away. I don't think you're getting there anytime soon. In Rivian, you're back up and challenging the 200-day and the Bollinger Band. It's going to need something to really kick it through there. Should the market start breaking down through this week's low, be careful. If Monday's lows are taken out, you got a problem in the market. It'll probably come back down even further than that. In Freeport, you keep fighting at the 18-day average in a downtrend. The pros are selling there until you probably take out this 48.69 level. Take that out and the market could act a little bit different, I think. Linn down for the first time to the 200-day average. Look at that. You haven't been there in months. And that's just the sign that I'm telling you. Horton, the others, they're definitely problems. They're getting downgraded at a number of analysts are doing it at the banks. They're not saying sell them. They're just into you don't want to accumulate them. Too much pressure from interest rates, and this is the season. You're going to lose it. You know, not all of us live where during the winters you can build homes and so on. Ground freezes, it's cold, different things happen. Lower highs, lower lows. You can see the home builders following right with Linn, not playing game with it. Then the financial services. This is just sideways action. No breakout, but the longer it goes sideways in this band, the bigger it's going to break out one way or the other. So we'll see which way that might go. Maybe it'll get some action off all this jobs reports that we have tomorrow. Then we have, of course, XLI, and it's a mess of a chart. Industry is, and specifically manufacturing, just not doing well, and you're seeing the pressures. The market keeps falling down into key numbers here. This is the 200-day average, and it's been hitting that with the Bollinger Band. That's where it's trying to find support. Support's not bullish. That's where they're short covering. Energy markets are stuck between the upper Bollinger Band and the 100-day average. Why are Bollinger Bands important? The algorithm keeps the trading bands within them 95% of the time. You'll find that when they swing down to them or swing way up to them, often that's a spot the pros take some money off the table. Doesn't mean they're abandoning their long or short position necessarily. I teach when to abandon it, not the reverse, just when to abandon it and how to do it and when to just take off parts when it hits it. That's in the Bollinger Band course. In the gold market, you're just stuck at the 18-day average of closes. I don't know what to do with that chart. SLV, still here. You got a higher high, lower low, no real setup. Copper is trying to come alive. If it can keep this up, maybe it can get up from here another $1. I don't know. We'll see. It just seems to be stuck, though, at the 18-day average. I don't want to tie good money after bad in the market. TLT fell apart this week. No other word you can say other than interest rates took off 20 basis points on the 10 years, and others did comparable type moves, and that's what you're feeling. The dollar's slipping on this news. It's still embedded. It's good until the red line closes under 79. If that happens, then look for a challenge of the red 18-day average of closes. The flip-flop has happened in FXE, which is the euro, and that's come all the way up here right now, and it's now a key resistance point. This has been a bear market rally. Could it turn into a bullish event, or does it run out of steam here is the big question. You put it together, you try to come up with what to do, but I have the answer. You move your cursor here, or you go to IraEpstein.com, take the courses, get the education. And my research, by the way, in the courses, you get 2 weeks of it, of both, the spider, the futures, it's all included in there as well. I'm Ira. You have yourself a great evening. I will catch up with you all in the morning as I review these reports. Nothing on Wednesday night, and then back to business for me on Friday. You take care.